Well, today's the day. I'm gonna go pick up the block to refurbish the side of the patio terrace. That terrace was added, from our best estimates, about 110 or 15 years ago. It is made of Sears and Roebuck press block. They used to have these machines. I think I posted about it earlier. Today I get to go pick up the block. There's a company that remakes it and maybe get some column parts. So today is the day. The Jeep gets to pretend it's a truck and we're gonna go haul a pallet of block. We'll see how that goes today up to Auburn, Indiana for the patio terrace and this cool little planter. Just a great place. Auburn, Indiana. All these different shapes. I'm gonna walk through their plant for just a minute and look at their press. This is a cool place, great people. I've enjoyed my visit here today. Well, check out this finial they made. That's the mold. From England. Part of the mold to the finial, making the pavers. See that? Whoop. Classic rock face block. 1967. Yeah, it's all shiny and clean. Doesn't have what it would see 40, 50, 60 years of use on it. That's cool. Yeah, this is as I said before, that's how I found you guys, was the Sears and Roebuck and these little press machines for making the block on the homes, the historic homes and that.
Yeah.
Here in their lobby, a bunch of fun stuff. Ideal concrete machine. Through history, I'm going fast. You have to look it up or come visit them. Wizard concrete from Sears and Roebuck. That's how I found them, because at one time they sold a machine similar to this, and you can, they pressed it originally, right? Mm-hmm. It kind of press fitted. There's a lever, it rolls these cores in here and then helps you pack your material in there. And when it's set, then the form opens up and you pull your block out and make another block. So you were hand making blocks. I believe my grandfather built the old home they lived in when I was a kid out of block he made himself and then built the home. This I want to show you. Isn't this the press in the back or one similar to it?
That's similar to it.
This one's a best. Okay, this is a block press. Okay.
A Besser block press. Ours technically in the back is a fielding and flat.
Fielding and plat press in the back.
Yes.
Okay, so a little correction there on what was in the shop I showed you earlier. But some fun stuff. Kind of a little museum here in this. Here's an ideal. Oh, heck. What a fun place we stumbled across here. You kind of hold that. If you want to see what you're filming, there it is. That's what's on film. I'm going to pick this up.
Is it filming right now?
Oh, yeah. We're filming. It's recording what we're saying, what we're seeing. This feels like cold rolled steel. It doesn't feel like cast iron. Somewhat weighty. Those are part of the original forms at those machines I was showing you. Here's a new day form that they use in their current machine, where they've copied the contours and of the original blocks. So
they're each hand pressed.
Hand pressed.
Yep.
Every block. Wow. And there's plenty of designs. What are these? So this is an 8x16 form, and then you guys have.
It's part of the ashlar series. All three of these are part of the ashlar series. So you'll notice that a lot of times the grout line will go inward. These are protruding out.
Ah, so there's innies and outies like a belly button.
Yeah, there's a specific tool that's used to grout differently.
Faces, tops, crowns, columns, all of that stuff is here. And I'm going to show this one because this is what I'm after for the columns on my own terrace, this design and this size. And then they have this little cool room we're going to walk into. if you're a history buff or you want to know more about this stuff, check this room out. Here's a step through the process. 2 men hauling the block, house built out of the block, operating the block, first operation, packing it, tamping it, pressing it. And then at the other end, I'll skip, you're pulling out your handmade blocks out of the press. And you could change the face of the block to have different faces on it. That's a round ball mold, planter mold. Three-hole, this is a 2-hole press. But that's essentially what's coming out of these. This one would have come out of one that looked like this with the 3 holes. He has a nice collection of these. This is probably why I couldn't find one. I think he's collected them all. This raises up, lets the front come down so you can slide the block out. This retracts the bore. Some pretty fascinating stuff. Kind of a cool thing. Thanks for the visit.
Yeah, thank you. Have a safe trip.
Here's their Classic Rocks, the information they gave it. It says, we make historically accurate masonry materials primarily used for the repair, restoration, and additions to homes that were built from 1908 to 1940. And they've developed a way to reproduce these old stones. You'll recognize them if you've looked at any old homes in the area. They locate and restore the old original machines and molds and try to copy the manufacturer from 100 to 120 years ago and their catalogs. And here they are in northeastern Indiana, and it's a cool place. Here's a shot of their logo. Some of these we've seen, but these are cool. I like this particular one because it's similar to what's in my own home terrace, just a smaller version of it. This is what those historic stones look like. This is the type that'll be on my own home. If you have an old house and you're trying to put your block back, this is the place to do it. You can get the exact copy, replica, of course, to new specs, so it's structurally sound, and they're great to work with. And no, this isn't a paid advertisement. I'm not an affiliate. I'm just sharing my personal experience here, which has been great with these folks. There's my own load ready to go. And we'll journey back to Cambridge. At one time, looked more like this, of course. That's not the original front porch. And they changed the style of the home somewhat when they did it. Had these upgrades done. We like the terrace, the patio, it's fun. And so we're going to restore that look and keep it intact. The home itself, we have gone back to the very first Quakers that came into the area. In the very first part of the 1800s, there were Quakers here. There's record of some big movements in 1803, 4, 5, up to 1806, I believe. I've been corrected. It wasn't concrete. It's made out of limecrete. It's a softer form of concrete that predates our current formula, and made with lime instead of Portland. But nonetheless, it is a cement or masonry home formed out of poured in place limecrete. Kind of cool thing, as we looked at the history, it's 2 deep by 2 wide, which coincides with some foursquare. But we do know Quakers settled this area. They were abolitionists, and they ran the Underground Railroad along with the Levi Coffin House, which is north of here in Fountain City. This home, what we've been able to uncover, was built in that time period. It predates the land contract. And yes, it was Indian territory at the time, but this home is over 200 years old, and we've been able to document that with the nails and the construction techniques in the home as we've worked on it. So it is a unique treasure of an old home, this Jumanji house with all these adventures. And we're gonna dig this out here so that we can begin to work on this masonry. The current project is to replace and or repair several of these so that we have a nice acceptable look again. This is what the blocks look like as a face, and this is the block. That didn't take too long to take those damaged fronts off. A couple tools from my rock days. Used to lay rock walls with my brother-in-law. Hercules hammer, He-Man, 8-pound. A couple of my rock tools. It actually popped off there pretty quick. And there's some good news down here. Part of that is they backfilled with some concrete, and that's actually what's holding up the patio deck. Is this, when the blocks crumbled, these blocks were dry pressed and they're crumbling, coming apart, kind of sand, and they came off not too bad. Pretty bad. I found a place where I can get these new pedestal bases, but I went to move this nice Roman bowl, which I cannot find anywhere, and it's cracked here along the base. So removing that, oh boy. And I have not been able to locate new ones. I've not seen anyone that sells bowls like that. I've found smaller ones, I've found other designs, just not that bowl. This planter is one that I made. By definition, this one is cultured stone. A lot smoother, a lot more dense cement. And close, but just does not match the charm of these old beauties, these Roman bowls they call them. Hello, little darling. Watch out, honey. It's underway. Got to start. I will openly confess I made a few rookie mistakes, but overall I'm pleased so far. And yes, I move a lot slower than I'd like to. Some of you are probably really fast, but it is what it is. Substantial improvement. And we're about halfway there on this side. It's progressing. We found a letter from an Anne to her brother referring to a Thomas here in this property, and everything that we've been able to do to authenticate that letter shows it's from the early 1800s, maybe 1820 to 40, which gives a lot of credence to the age of the home and to the people that were here. We've been studying its abstract and reading about the history of it, how it's changed hands and who owned it. This home has a lot of significant historical significance. It's quite rare. The people who owned it from 1900 up through the 50s, 1950s, were the Honeycutts, and that is the namesake of the road we live on. Now there's a funny anecdote here about the road Honeycutt, as it's spelled Hunnicut, and their name has two T's. I found a 1930s newspaper article that was kind of laughing at the complaints because they had gotten a county grant, a government grant to put new signs up on the county roads in the area, in this township, in this area. The signs weren't big enough to fully spell the name Honeycutt, so they just arbitrarily left one of the T's off, renaming the road Honeycutt with one T. And to this day, depends on which Google Map version you're using, it may have two T's or one T, but it is Honeycutt Road, named after the Honeycutts who once lived here. We've also been able to read on that abstract that they had quite a hog operation and a dairy operation here, and that's part of what this property was known for. One of the interesting facts, stories, I'll take the word fact back, we haven't been able to verify it, is that perhaps my grandmother worked here on this dairy. My great-grandmother, an English immigrant, worked, the rumor is, in a dairy in this area. We'd like to think it was this one, and very possibly could have been. This is the front wall with the repairs substantially complete. There's some final cleaning, power washing, wire brushing to clean up part of it yet. We'll take off this blackened lichen and moss. And we'll start side 2.